I know that a lot of us here, no, have heard of the Forex market. And normally kasi pag naririnig natin yung Forex market, it is normally hyped, no, outside. So for example, sasabihin sa'yo na pwede kayo umamon bigla sa Forex, no, mabilis kumita, mabilis yung galaw ng market, no. There's a lot of millionaires na kumbaga na naging millionaires because of Forex trading. So you hear a lot of things out there and we're not really sure which one's true. And it also sounds very intimidating, to be honest, no? Kasi di ba pag maisip mo, Forex trading, di ba, financial markets, parang napaka-komplikado. Pero sa totoo lang, hindi naman po siya complicated, no, on its own. Bakit? Kasi po, just the act of Forex trading is when you simply exchange money for a different currency, no? So, ibig sabihin, pumunta ka ng bangko dito sa Pilipinas, meron kang peso, no? Gusto mo bumili ng dollar, uh, you exchange peso into dollar. By doing that, that's already Forex trading. Or sabihin natin, yung kaibigan natin dito na taga Singapore, syempre, nung galing ang Pilipinas, lumipad ka papuntang Singapore, um, you needed to exchange money, no? You need Singapore dollars so that you can, buy stuff there, no? So, by doing that, no, you go to a money changer, you have peso, exchange it into Singapore dollars, that's already Forex trading. So it's not really some complicated system, no? Yun na siya. And I'm sure that I would say majority of us, no, if not all of us, has already done that at least once, no, nakapagpalit na kayong pera. Now, if you think about it further, wait lang, coach, nakapagpalit na ako ng pera, pero hindi naman ako kumita, no? Minsan nga, parang pangit pa yung palitan, lugi pa ako. So, people actually earn whenever they buy a currency that has low value and then they get to sell it at a higher price, no, at a later date. So if we were to put an example there para mas simple ng konti, no, what you have here is noong 2016, kung matatandaan nyo, yung rate ng dollar nasa mga bandang 45, no? Actually earlier mas mababa pa ngayon, nasa mga 41 yan eh. And let's say during that time you decided to buy $100, no. So, pumunta ka ng bangko, sabi mo, bank, pabili naman ako ng $100. Sabi sa'yo ng bank, sige, yung current rate po natin ay 45. So, you decided to give 4,500 pesos to the bank and in return, they give you $100. No? So, yung $100 na yun, nilagay mo sa wallet mo, no? Ginawa mong lucky $100 for the next few years. And today, magkano ba yung rate na huling kita nyo? What was the last rate that you saw? Last time I was at the bank na nagpalit ako was a couple of days ago eh. So, during that time, parang nasa mga 48 points. So, kung pinapalit natin siya at the rate of 48, no, nabili natin siya ng 45 pesos per dollar, umakyat na siya ng 48, nagbenta natin at that price, kumita tayo ng 3 piso per dollar. No? And if it was $100, then that would have been a profit of 300 pesos. So, with that, no, doon actually nanggagaling yung profit sa market. Hindi siya magic, no? It's not some secret system. Kasi, kumbaga, lalo yung mga scammers sa labas, ang gagawin nila is sasabihin nila, mag-invest ka ng pera sa akin, no? I'm a Forex trader. Then they, show you some stats or whatever. Then, they show you some withdrawals and, the cars that they have, etc., etc. Sabihin nila, sige, mag-invest ka sa akin, no? I'll give you 10% or 20% per month. Now, if you think about it, there's a lot of profit to be made in the market, but at the same time, there's also risk, no? Pwede ka ring matalo. What if yung dollar nung 45 natin nabili, hindi siya umakyat? Paano pag bumagsak? Naging 43. Then talo ka ng 2 pesos per dollar, no? So if that was $100, that would be a loss of 200 pesos. So my point here is that nobody can ever guarantee you profits in the market. So walang makapagsabi sa'yo na 10%, 20% per month, no, sa trading. Walang ganon, no? Even the best traders in Wall Street aren't, can't make 10 or 20% a month, no? Malabo yun. To be honest, making around 3 to 5% a month, that's already a great number. And that's what we should be targeting, no? Nasa mga ganung amount lang. Kasi kung isipin mo, ano ba yung mga investments na nilalagyan nyo ngayon, no? If you put it in the bank, you get what? 0.25% a year? Di ba? Ang layo nun sa 10%, 20% per month. So mukhang scammy kagad yung mga ganun. Okay, so if we aim for around 3 to 5% a month, ang ganda na nun. No? So to be honest, for some of the traders here na medyo, kumbaga nasa middle ng career nila, no, you've already learned a lot and you're still trying to get to that line na maging consistently profitable ka na. If you're already making 3%, 5% per month, ayos na yun. No? You're already doing okay. Just do that consistently. Okay na yan. No? You don't need to aim for the moon. Okay. So, okay. So, doon po nanggagaling yun. There's also a lot of risk in the market. So, that's so with that, no, we need to learn how to analyze the market properly. No? Kasi kailangan alam natin kung ano yung mga currencies na pwedeng umakyat at bumaba. So, that is actually where we are going to spend a lot of time in, no, after natin nung foundations na to. So, moving forward, no, yung kagandahan naman po sa forex market, it's a huge market, so mataas yung trading volume niya, no? And because of that, pwede kang mag-buy or sell ng mga currencies anytime na gusto mo. Kunwari, gusto mo mag-trade ng USD JPY, no, ng madaling araw, walang problema. No, you can execute that trade. You can buy, you can sell anytime. You can open a trade, you can close it, that's fine. So, basta bukas yung market, makakapag-trade po kayo. At kailan ba bukas yung market? No, the market is open 24 hours a day during weekdays. No? Now, that is divided into a couple of sessions. Meron kang Asian session, European session, at saka US session sa gabi. Now, to be honest, ang pinakamagalaw na session dyan would be the European session. No? London session po yan. So, you would actually expect a lot of movement during that time. And that would be around 3 o'clock in the afternoon, no? Here in the Philippines. Convert nyo na lang. Or around 3 to 4 p.m. Depende sa daylight saving time nila. So, doon medyo magalaw yung market. And that extends all the way up until 11 p.m. ng gabi. Sa mga ganun po yan. Okay. So, yung New York session, it also opens around 8 or 9 p.m. Magalaw din po yan. But to be honest, majority of the movement is at your London session. Kaya sa PAFTI, kung mapapansin nyo, 2 beses po tayo nagla-live sa isang araw. No? Mostly si Coach Alex M. yung sa London Open. Tapos si Coach Alex S. naman sa sa New York Open. No? So we try to capture both markets. Asian session, madalas patay yung market kapag ganyan. So wala masyadong galaw yan. No? Don't expect a lot of movement there. Okay. Alright. So, moving forward, no? Now, we've kind of understood, no, forex trading already, no, kung ano yung concept niya. Now let's try to go a little deeper into the forex market. No? We know that it's a very liquid market. Alam na natin yung trading sessions. And ano ba talaga yung market na yan? No? Well, the market is where currencies are being exchanged. And it's an OTC market, no, over-the-counter market siya. Ang ibig sabihin nun, you can trade with multiple entities, no? Walang central entity na nagbabantay ng lahat ng trades na nagaganap. So for example, you go to a bank or money changer, you can exchange money there. Walang nagbabantay, no? Unlike the stock market, no, if you're trading with PSE, meron kang, Philippine Stock Exchange. Sila yung nagbabantay ng lahat ng trades na nangyari. But for the forex market, it doesn't work like that. Okay? It's over the counter, no? At dahil doon, decentralized po yung market. So, take note that they are always traded in pairs. Okay? Kapag nagtitrade po kayo ng forex, you are buying and selling at the same time. That's why you have two currencies involved. Kaya dun sa example natin kanina, nung nag-trade tayo ng peso to dollar, no, or dollar to peso, nung niliquidate na natin yung position, we were actually buying the dollar nung una and selling the peso. Kasi binili natin yung dollar, binigay natin yung peso in exchange. So, whenever you trade, you are actually buying and selling at the same time. So, tandaan nyo na, you're buying and selling at the same time. And that's why two currencies are involved. They come in pairs. Now, kung mapapansin nyo din po, yung value ng currencies, they change all the time. No? It goes up, it goes down. Punta ka ng bangko ngayon, makikita mo yung rate is around 48. No? Come back next week, it's probably gonna be 48.2, 48.3. Maybe come back next month, it might be 47 point something. So it goes up and down. No? Bakit ganon? No? What actually influences that movement? Kasi doon tayo kikita eh. No? Kapag tumataas yung value or bumaba yung value, we can take advantage of that. Doon tayo pwede kumita. So ano kaya yung pwedeng magpagalaw ng value na yun para yun yung mga pwede nating bantayan? Well, imagine that currencies are like shares of a country. No? That simply means kung anong mangyari sa isang bansa, no, sa economy nila, most probably maapektuhan din yung value ng currency nila. I'll repeat that. Whatever happens to a country, it would probably reflect on the value of their currency. So kung sisimplehan na lang natin, if something good happens to a country, sabihin natin si US, no, yung kanilang GDP or gross domestic product tumaas, no, from 1.5% umakyat to 1.75% or something, no, it went higher. So if you think about it, that's the measurement of their local growth. And if it increases, then that's good for them. No? Probably, the value of the US dollar might also go up with that. Pwedeng tumaas din. Now, if you talk about something negative, no, with them, sabihin natin, tumaas yung ano nila, unemployment rate, no, yung mga walang trabaho, no, mas maraming nawalan ng trabaho. If you think about it, that's bad for them. And probably the value of the US dollar might go down. So, yun po yung sinasabi ko. You take a look at the economy of a country, and depending on what's happening to them, that might influence the value of their currency. It doesn't happen all the time, pero most of the time it does. So, it's good to pay attention to that. No? So, mamaya, we'll go a little deeper into that. Now, this is where it gets a little bit tricky. Tandaan nyo po, na kapag nagtitrade kayo, you have two currencies that are involved. You always have two currencies that are involved. So, let's say you have the dollar against the Philippine peso. And the current exchange rate is 50. Sabihin natin, nasa 50 ngayon yung rate. So, $1 is equal to 50 pesos. Ngayon, what if something bad happens to the dollar? Kapag may masamang nangyari sa dollar, then the value of the US dollar would go down. Di ba? Kung isipin nyo. Sabihin natin, tumaas yung unemployment rate. Maraming nawalan ng trabaho. So, okay, that's gonna be bad for the dollar. So, ano mangyari sa exchange rate? How will that be influenced? Since humina yung value ng dollar, it will now take less pesos to buy $1. So, dati, kailangan mo ng 50 pesos para makabili ng $1. Ngayon, bababa siya. The rate will go down. It will only take 49, 48, 47 pesos to buy $1. Bababa po siya. On the other side of things, kung lumakas naman po yung dollar, then it would take more pesos to buy $1. Tataas yung rate, 51, 52, 53. So, ganun po siya naapektuhan. Ngayon po, kung titignan nyo naman yung side ng peso, if something good happens to the peso, then the rate will go down. Kasi it will take less pesos to buy $1. Bababa yung rate, 49, 48, 47. If the peso weakens, then it will take more pesos to buy $1. Tataas yung rate, 51, 52, 53. So, ganun po naapektuhan yung exchange rate, no? Depende kung anong nangyayari dun sa isa sa mga currencies dun sa pair. Right? So, is everything clear so far? Concept pa lang tayo. Wala pa naman tayo dun sa pagbasa ng Forex quotes or whatever. Just the concept. Kaya pa? Kaya pa? Nakasabay pa? Let me just check dito sa YouTube, no, kung may mga questions pa tayo. Give me a moment. Alright. Good pa naman. Okay, so let's move forward. So, ngayon po, maiisip natin na parang ang dami nyo yatang na-mention na komplikado. No? You talked about the economy, kailangan natin bantayan yon, unemployment rate, GDP, etc. etc. Coach, kailangan ba natin lahat yon, no? Kumbaga para makapag-trade? Well, to be honest, oo sana, no? Kasi malaking bagay yun eh. No? If you're able to know those things, it would be a lot easier for us to determine kung saan papunta yung presyo. So actually, magkakaroon tayo ng separate session with that, eh, no? But at the end of the day, try not to make it too complicated for yourself. No? Huwag natin masyadong pahirapan yung sarili natin kasi dalawa lang naman yung buttons na pwede nyong pindutin. Dalawa lang yung pwede nyong posisyon. No? You can either buy or you can sell. Okay? So kahit gaano kahaba analysis natin sa market, ang tanong mo lang sa sarili mo, ano ba yung bibiling kong currency at ano ba yung bebenta ko? At tandaan nyo, kailangan you buy the currency that you think will go up and you sell the currency that you think will go down. So kung sa tingin mo aakyat yan, yan yung bibili natin. Kung sa tingin mo babagsak yan, yan yung ibebenta natin. No? Now, I'd like to pause for a second here. No, tandaan nyo na, if you think the price will go up, that is the currency that we will buy. If you think the price will go down, that is the currency that we will sell. Now, side note lang, dun sa mga nagtitrade dito ng local stocks, no? Many of us would probably have the strategy of buying more as the price goes down. We cannot do this in Forex kasi you're trading with leverage. Okay, mamaya explain ko ng konti yun. Pero hindi natin pwede gawin dito yun. Okay, yung kino-cost average nyo yung talo. No? So we cannot do that here. All right. So just, take note of that no, if you're trading stocks. Kasi yung mga iba nalilito dito sa part na to kapag yun yung strategy nila. All right. So remember, kung sa tingin mo lalakas yung value ng currency, yun yung bibili natin. Kung sa tingin mo bababa yung value ng currency, that is the one that we will sell. Okay. So moving forward. Ngayon naman po, ipapakilala ko sa inyo yung ating mga currencies no, na pwede nyong i-trade. Now, normally when we're starting out, these are the currencies that we will normally encounter. And these are called your major currencies. Ito major currencies, these are the most traded currencies around the world. So, kumbaga, ayan yung some notes on them. For example, you have the dollar, the euro, the yen, the pound. Meron yung 3-letter symbol. No? Very important for us to take note of that. And then meron din yan yung mga alternative names nila. No? Box, greenback no, is also US dollar. Fiber yen, cable Swiss C, yung mga ganyan. Normally, that's how they express it whenever you hear yung mga ibang analyst na nagsasalita about those currencies. So, kailangan medyo familiar din tayo sa terms nila. Okay? So, it's here. Anyway, so since whenever we trade Forex, they are traded in pairs, makikita po natin na these are our major pairs. Basically, it's your 7 major currencies against the US dollar. So, meron ka dyan euro dollar, dollar yen, pound dollar, dollar Swiss francs. So, kung mapapansin nyo yung dollar, minsan nasa kanan, minsan nasa kaliwa. Kung ano yung positioning nila, nakalock po yan dyan ha. So, it's locked there. So, hindi nyo pwede pagbalik ta rin si euro dollar. Hindi siya pwede maging dollar euro, magulo yun. Okay? Later, it would make sense kung bakit. No? That would be related to counting price movement. No? So, kung ano yung position nila, nakalock yan ha. Okay. So, yan pwede nyo i-trade yan kasi yun yung kumbaga tinitrade na mga currency sa buong mundo. Now, normally I get this question as well. Coach, what if ayoko i-trade yung dollar? Let's say, based on my analysis, I have absolutely no idea what will happen to the dollar. So, I don't want to trade that. But, I believe that the euro will strengthen. No? And let's say that the British pound will weaken. So, gusto ko bilhin yung euro, tapos gusto ko ibenta yung British pound. Ang problema, yung account ko po in US dollars. Will that be possible? Pwede ba akong makapag-trade ng euro against the pound even though my account is in US dollars? The answer is yes. Pwede. At ang tawag po dyan ay cross pairs. Your cross pairs are your 7 major currencies against each other without the US dollar. So, pwede nyo po i-trade yan. No? Huwag kayong mag-alala kung anumang profits or losses that will be derived from that position, yung broker nyo na yung bahala mag-compute nun. So, kumbaga lahat yun will be expressed as US dollars in the end. Kung US yung account nyo. Kasi yung iba gusto euro account or whatever account. Basta kung ano yung base currency nyo sa account. Coach, paano naman yung mga ibang currencies? Pwede ko ba i-trade yun? No? Yung nasa labas ng 8 major currencies. Yung iba pwede pero hindi lahat. Any currency outside of those 8 major currencies are called exotic currencies. So medyo cliquish kasi sila no? Kumbaga parang sila yung major tapos tayong mga ibang currency, exotic daw tayo. Okay? So yun, that's how it goes. So if you want to trade those, not all of them are available but some of them are and you can also take advantage of that. So lalo yung mga kumbaga yung work nyo related doon sa mga economies ng mga yan, you might be able to take advantage of that kung alam mo kung saan pupunta yung value ng currencies nila. No? And you'd be surprised. There's a lot of money to be made there. Okay? But for starters, I suggest dun muna tayo sa major and cross pairs para simple muna buhay. Now, moving forward, no? There are also a lot of instruments that you can trade aside from Forex. No? Kaya naman po, kumbaga, ipapasok din natin yung stocks dito kasi sayang no? You guys can have the opportunity to trade stocks. So, dati kasi hindi available yan. A few years ago, it wasn't. Halos ngayon lang talaga naglalabasan yung mga CFD stocks. Lalo ngayon, pwede kang mag-trade ng index. Ang laking bagay nun. Baka yun nga muna yung gagawin natin sa PAFTI. No? We'll focus on indices first. Tapos saka tayo bababa ng konti to sectoral areas. No? Pero index muna para simpleng buhay. For example, we'll be trading the Dow 30, we'll be trading the S&P 500 kasi mas simple ang analysis kapag binulto mo eh. Okay? So, any questions so far? May tanong ba? Saglit ha, inom lang ako water. Okay, so far wala pa naman tanong ha. Move forward tayo. May mga humabol pala, no? Dumami na tayo ngayon. Doon sa mga medyo na late, don't worry. Meron naman tayo recording nito. I will send it probably tomorrow morning. So, review nyo na lang, no? Yung mga na-miss yung parts. Anyway, moving forward, no? Ito naman po yung Forex quote, no? Forex quote is basically your exchange rate, no? That's the official term for it. So, for example, sa atin, di ba? US dollar slash PHP is equal to 48.2. Ano ibig sabihin nun? That means for every $1, kailangan mo ng 48 pesos and 20 centavos. Now, if you take a look at Euro USD, it's the same thing. Kung nakita mo dyan, Euro slash USD is equal to 1.1500. That simply means for every 1 euro, kailangan nyo po ng $1.15. That's it. No? For every 1 euro, you need $1.15. So, yun ang exchange rate niya. No? Now, take note, dalawa yung currencies na involved. Yung nasa kaliwa po, ang tawag natin dyan ay base currency. Yung nasa kanan po, ang tawag natin dyan ay quote currency. Okay? Now, to make it very simple, yung base currency, ang value niyan ay laging 1. So, the value of your base currency is 1. The value of your quote currency is whatever is on the right side. Okay? Basta tandaan nyo yung value ng nasa kaliwa, 1. Okay? That's your base currency. So, 1 euro is equal to $1.15. So, on your platforms, mapapansin nyo po kasi na dalawa yung pwede yung pindutin na buttons. No? You can actually take two positions in the market. You can either buy Euro USD or you can sell Euro USD. No? Kapag nag-buy kayo, same, kumbaga, another term for it is going long. No? And if you're going to sell, that is going short. No? So, yun, ginagamit yan for yung terms na yan. Going long is buying, going short is selling it. Okay? So, meron kang buy, meron kang sell. So, ang tanong dyan, wait lang coach, if I buy Euro USD, ano ba dyan yung binibili ko? Kasi remember, whenever we're trading, we're buying and selling at the same time. Kaya nga magkapares yung mga currencies eh. So, ano dyan yung binibili ko at binibenta ko if I buy Euro USD? Ang basihan lagi niyan ay base currency. Now, the basis of that is your base currency. The base currency is the basis of buying and selling. So, that simply means, no, yung kaliwa yung lagi nyong susundan. So, if you decide to buy Euro USD, no, let's say ang analysis natin sa market, malakas si Euro, no? Malakas si Euro, mahina si dollar. Okay, gusto ko bilhin si Euro, gusto ko ibenta si dollar. Pag ganun, ang gagawin nyo is you buy Euro USD. Because in that case, you are buying the Euro and you're selling the dollar. Yung nasa kaliwa yung susundan nyo. Okay? If you want to buy the Euro and sell the dollar, buy tayo ng Euro USD. Yung kaliwa yung susundan. Now, if our analysis is the opposite of that, sabihin natin mahina si Euro at malakas si dollar, then definitely we want to sell the Euro and then buy the dollar. Pag ganon, ang dapat yung position sa market is we sell Euro USD. Because if you do that, you are selling the Euro and you're buying the dollar. Clear? Malinaw? So, pag ganyan, sell tayo ng Euro USD. Okay. So, this part is very important. So, kumbaga, kapag nabaliktad kasi natin yan, baliktad din yung kita natin. Okay, so, kumbaga kahit gaano kaganda yung analysis mo, pag baliktad yung execution, patay tayo doon. Alright, so take note of that. Anyway, moving forward now. So, I think everybody got that right. So, let's have some exercises para sigurado tayong dumikit. Okay, sabihin po natin, ang basa natin sa CHF, no, that's the Swiss francs, CHF. We believe that the CHF will go up. Sa tingin natin, lalakas siya, no, based on our analysis. So definitely, gusto natin bilhin yung CHF kasi, di ba, if you think the price will go up, we buy. No? If you think the price will go down, we sell. So, if our currency is CHF-JPY, ano dapat ang posisyon natin sa market para mabili po natin yung CHF? Do we buy CHF-JPY or do we sell CHF-JPY? Alright, good. So, pwede rin. You can say go long or go short. Same stuff. Okay, that's great. Everybody got it right. So, tama po. If you buy CHF-JPY, you're buying the CHF and you're selling the yen. Now, same scenario, malakas si CHF, pero ang pares natin ay Euro CHF. Anong posisyon natin para mabili natin si CHF? Do we buy or do we sell? Okay. Di ba? Simple lang, no? Excellent, excellent. Thank you for the answer. So we sell Euro CHF. In that case, you're selling the Euro and you are buying the Swiss francs. All right. So I think everybody got that right, no? So yun yung kailangan natin i-apply, no, whenever you're already trading. Anyway, so since everybody got that right, let's move forward. Ngayon naman po, lalalim tayo ulit ng konti. We'll talk about counting pips, no? Yung pips naman po, this is how we count price movement in Forex. Bakit natin kailangan yan, coach? Kasi po, this is how we count our profits and losses. Normally, kapag magbibilang tayo ng profits and losses, it is not usually quantified as, kumbaga, dollars, no? Normally, kapag nag-uusap yung mga traders, umakyat yung posisyon ko ng $100, umakyat yung posisyon ko ng $200. Hindi po kami ganun mag-usap. Ang pag-usap namin normally, umakyat yung trade ko ng 100 pips, no? Bumagsak yung trade ko ng 50 pips or whatever, no? So we express it as pips, okay? And pips is a measurement of price movement in Forex, no? Yan yung term natin diyan, okay? Ngayon, to make it very simple, any movement on the fourth decimal place is considered as 1 pip. Okay, ulitin ko any movement on the fourth decimal place is considered as 1 pip. This goes for major currencies and cross pairs. So, kung yung example natin dito, Euro USD is equal to 1.1500, kung umakyat siya to 1.1501, that simply means it went up by 1 pip. So basta gumalaw siya on the fourth decimal place, that is 1 pip. If the market goes down to 1.1499, then it went down by 1 pip. So up or down, pips yung bilangan natin dyan, basta gumalaw siya on the fourth decimal place. So sabihin natin, umakyat siya to 1.1530, then it went up by 30 pips. If the market went down to 1.1485, then it went down by 15 pips. Okay? Basta kung ilan ang ginalaw niya on the fourth decimal place, we call that pips. Okay? So up or down. Now, the exception to the rule is Japanese yen. Kapag Japanese yen po yung tinitrade nyo, hanggang second decimal place lang yan. Kasi mababa yung yen eh. Parang yung peso. Di ba mapapansin nyo hanggang second decimal place lang naman tayo. Alright? So that is yung pips natin. Basta fourth decimal place. And this goes for major and cross pairs. Yung exotic pairs, iba yung bilangan doon per currency. So medyo magulo. Kaya for the meantime, focus muna tayo sa major at sa cross. Okay. Alright. So I hope that's clear for everyone. Ngayon, we'll try to combine this concept with buying and selling, no? Para mabilang natin yung ating potential profits and losses sa market. So, let's say that based on our analysis, we believe that the euro is strong and the dollar is weak. So we decide to buy Euro USD. Now, we're hoping na tataas yung exchange rate, no? Tataas yung value ng Euro USD. Bakit? Kasi 'di ba, euro is strengthening against the dollar, so tataas yung rate, no? So if we bought Euro USD at 1.1500 and it does go up to 1.1520, that means we earned 20 pips. Kasi binili mo ng 1.1500, tumaas yung exchange rate, naging 1.1520, then you earn 20 pips. Mamaya malalaman natin kung magkano yung 1 pip na yan. No? But for now, let's count it in pips first. Now, paano naman pag nagkamali tayo? No, we buy Euro USD hoping that the market will go up, but it doesn't. Paano kung biglang bumagsak? Naging 1.1490. It went down by 10 pips against our trade. And with that, you actually lose 10 pips. Okay? Malinaw? Pag bumili ka, umakyat, kikita. Pag bumili ka, bumagsak, talo. Okay, moving forward. Kung yung posisyon naman natin baliktad, no, we believe that the euro is weak and the dollar is strong, we decide to sell Euro USD. If the market does go down to 1.1470, no, tama tayo, bumagsak nga siya, it went down by 30 pips. Then kumita tayo ng 30 pips. However, kung nag-sell ka, tapos umakyat yung market, no, baliktad yung nangyari to 1.1515, then you lose 15 pips. Okay? So kapag nag-sell tayo, tapos bumaba yung market, kikita. Kapag nag-sell ka, pero umakyat yung market, talo. No? So some might be a little bit confused. No? Tandaan nyo po, there are two positions you can take. No? You can go long or you can go short. No? So you can profit from a market that is going up and you can also profit from a market that is going down. Yun yung isa sa mga pinaka-advantages when you're trading FX. Okay? You can trade both ways. Okay? Basta alam mo kung saan pupunta, pwede kang mita. Okay? Unlike dito sa local stock market natin, kapag bear market, pahirapan talaga. No? Alright. Is that clear? Malinaw po yung at saka yung counting pips. Right, good, good, good. Check ko lang sa YouTube baka may mga questions. Give me a moment. Alright, great. Okay, wala pa namang questions. Let's move forward. Okay, so before we go to how much 1 pip is, tignan muna natin yung nakikita talaga nating rates, no, whenever you take a look at your charts. Now, if you notice, yung pinapakita sa ating Forex quote extends up to the 5th decimal place. For example, dito sa Euro USD, no, yung selling price, 1.15116. Kumbaga may panglima. Yung panglima na yun, ang tawag doon ay pipet. No? It's a fraction of a pip. And normally, we don't pay attention to it too much, no? Especially for starters. Mas maganda kung bilangin nyo na lang yung pips on the 4th decimal place. No? So don't be confused. Just take a look at the 4th decimal place and that is where our pips will be. No? Yung 5th decimal place, that is called the pipet. No? It's a fraction of a pip. You can you kind of negate it, no, for starters. Okay? Now, aside from that, mapapansin nyo po na dalawa yung presyo na laging ibibigay sa inyo pag magti-trade kayo. No? Iba yung buy price sa sell price. No? Bakit ganun? Well, if you go to a bank or a money changer, mapapansin mo that it's the same thing. No? Kanwari, bibili ka ng dollar, the rate that they will give you is 48 pesos per dollar. No? If you're going to sell dollars to the bank, mapapansin mo mababa yung rate na ibibigay sa'yo, 47.5. No? May difference ng 50 centavos. No? And if you want to count that in pips, it's actually 50 pips. Okay? Bakit may difference? No? To be frank about it, that is your transaction cost. No? The difference between the buy price and the sell price is your transaction cost. The bigger the gap, the bigger your transaction cost. Okay? The closer the gap, the lower your transaction cost. And that gap is called the spread. No, yung spread is the difference between the buy price and the sell price. So, if you're trading online, ganun din yung ating transaction cost. It will be counted as pips. So, for example, dito sa Euro USD natin, if you're just looking at the 4th decimal place, then our selling price is 1.1511 against 1.1513. So, roughly, meron kang 2 pips na difference. And that is your transaction cost. If you buy or sell, no, whatever position you take, you will start out with negative 2 pips. Kaya dun sa mga first-time traders, huwag kayong mag-alala na parang unang pindot nyo lang, unang pindot nyo palang negative na kagad yung trade nyo. Parang sabihin nyo, uy, grabe naman itong market na to, kahit anong pindot ko, simula pa lang negative na. That's because of the spread. Okay? Kasi binabayaran nyo yung transaction cost, simula pa lang. So if you start out with negative 2 pips, no, yun na yun, that's the transaction cost. No? Pag umakyat siya ng 100 pips, that's all yours. No? Pag natalo ka ng 50 pips, well, sa'yo din lahat yun. So regardless, it will be deducted at the start. Now, if you want to be stingy about it, the actual spread in this scenario is actually 1.8 pips. So it's less than 2 pips kung isasama mo yung pipet. Okay, it's 1.8 pips. All right. So, yun po yung ating spread. It's very important to know that. And take note, yung spread po, lumalaki yan kapag konti yung nagtitrade sa market. No? If the market doesn't have a lot of volume, lumalaki yung spread so that the broker can give you, kumbaga mas secure yung broker na maibibigay niya yung presyo na yun. So for example, if you trade ng madaling araw or early morning, madalas makikita nyo malaki yung spread niyan. But if you take a look at during London session or New York session, malakas na yung trading activity niyan, mapapansin nyo lumiliit na yung spread. Kaya kung makikita nyo minsan, kapag patapos na yung week, no, mga Saturday na madaling araw yan, nagsasara yung market, mapapansin nyo lumalaki yung spread kasi nababawasan na yung volume of traders. Okay? So take note of that. Okay. Alright. So, any questions so far? Okay pa? Malinaw pa, no? Ngayon naman po, pag-usapan natin yung volume. Volume is kung magkano yung 1 pip na yan. No? Kasi kanina, naintindihan natin, okay, pag bumili pala ako makyat, no? Makyat siya by 20 pips, kikita ako 20 pips. No? So, magkano ba yung 1 pip na yan? That actually depends on you. You get to decide how much 1 pip is. Okay? And you can decide that by changing the volume. Kasi bago kayo mag-trade, lagi kayong tatanungin, anong volume ang gusto mong i-trade? So in that case, ayan, nakasulat yung volume, no? If you write a volume of 1, bigyan ko na lang kayo ng benchmarks. If you're using a standard account, if you write a volume of 1, we call that one lot or a standard lot. That would be around $10 per pip. Okay? Nasa mga $10 per pip yan. Meaning, if you make 20 pips, then that would be 20 pips times $10. Kikita ka ng $200, which is not bad, no? Pero kung natalo ka naman ng 10 pips, ganoon din. Negative 10 pips times $10, talo ka ng $100. So medyo masakit, no? Malaki yung profit, malaki din yung talo. Now you can change that if you like. Kapag ginawa niyo po yung volume nyo na 0.1, then that would be $1 per pip. Okay? Nasa mga $1 per pip yan. Meaning, if you make 20 pips, that's only $20. Kung natalo ka ng 10 pips, that's only a loss of $10. And you can have something in between. Kung gusto mo, kanwari, gusto mo $3 per pip. Pwede. Gawin mong 0.3. And that will give you $3 per pip. Now, if $1 per pip is still too big, you can actually lower that if you like. Pwede mo ibaba. On a standard account, the lowest you can go is 0.01 na volume. And that will give you 10 cents per pip. So maliit lang yan. Meaning, if you spend the whole week analyzing the market, may nakita kang isang magandang trade, you take it and you make profit out of it. Sabihin natin, kumita ka ng 50 pips. No? Wow, congratulations. No? Pero pag trade mo lang na volume ay 0.01, then that is 10 cents times 50 pips. You get around $5. Which is, pwede na, no, not bad. And at the same time, kung natalo ka naman, maliit na maliit lang. Let's say you lose 20 pips, then you only lose $2. Very manageable siya. Now, you can also have something in between that if you like. Kanwari, gusto ko 70 cents per pip. Pwede. Then that would be 0.07. Okay? You can even combine that. Sabihin natin, gusto ko, coach, $5.30 per pip. No, wow, very specific. All right, sure. Then you need 0.53. Okay? So, pwede nyo paglaruan yung volume na yan. Now, if you have a small capital, kasi suggestion ko, kung magsa-standard account kayo, siguro yung capital nyo nasa mga $500. Kaya na yan. No? Makakapag-trade na kayo ng maayos-ayos. No? If you have something less than that, then I would suggest you go with a micro account. No? Yung micro account, kumbaga lahat will be converted into cents. Kapag sinulat mo doon volume na 1, imbis na $10 per pip ang lalabas, 10 cents per pip. Pag ginawa mong 0.1, that will give you 1 cent per pip. So kumbaga, you can even trade lower if you like. Anything lower than 0.1, wala na. No, there's nothing lower than 1 cent per pip. So, yun na yun. Okay? Right. Any questions so far? Okay. So, tandaan nyo, kapag standard account yung gamit nyo, yung balance nyo dyan will be in dollars, pero kung micro account yung gamit nyo, your balance there will be in cents. Okay? So, para hindi malito yung iba. Any questions so far? Okay pa naman, no? So, ngayon po, we'll discuss yung, kumbaga, very elusive topic, no? And that would be leverage, margin, ano ba yung mga yan, no? Free margin. Unahin muna natin yung leverage, no? Yung leverage po, it's a privilege that you can get from the broker, no? And leverage is expressed as a ratio. For example, 1:1 means walang leverage. 10:1 meaning times 10, 50:1 is times 50, 100:1 is times 100, etc. etc. No? Ano ibig sabihin yan? That simply means that you can actually trade more than what your account can normally handle. No? Kapag mas mataas yung leverage mo, you can trade times 10, times 50, times 100, or more of your account. Ngayon, for us to fully appreciate that, we have to understand first, gaano ba kalaking volume talaga yung tinitrade natin whenever we're trading one lot. Okay? If we go back here, makikita nyo po na pag nag-trade ka ng volume na 1, it says here that you're actually trading 100,000 euros. Okay? If you're trading a volume of 1, you're actually trading 100,000 units of the base currency. No? In this case, it's euro. So, ganyang kalaking pera actually yung tinitrade nyo. Kaya naman isang kembot ng market, $10 per pip kagad. Kasi 100,000 euros yung tinitrade mo. Okay? So, if we make some computations off of that, so let me get a clear chart. Yan. Using a standard account, if we have a volume of 1.00, you're actually trading 100,000 units of euro. Now, if you think about it, given the exchange rate of euro USD, sabihin natin yung EU natin is 1.1500. Yan yung current exchange rate, sabihin natin. For us to be able to buy 100,000 units of euros, how much US dollars do we need? So, multiply mo lang naman yan, and roughly, you actually need 115,000 dollars, no? By the way, you don't need to memorize this part, In-explain ko lang for better appreciation. Okay. So, for you to buy 100,000 units of euro, you actually need 115,000 US dollars. So, kung isipin nyo, wait lang coach, wala akong 115,000 US dollars, no, para makapag-trade. No? However, I have, let's say, sabihin natin, $10,000. No? Sabihin natin, coach, I have $10,000 in my account. Paano ako makakapag-trade ng one lot ng Euro USD? Kung ito lang yung capital ko, posible ba yon? Yes, that's possible. No? Saka tayo gagamit ngayon ng leverage. No? Yung leverage mo, you can actually multiply your account by the leverage. So sabihin natin kung ang leverage mo ay 1:20, that simply means you can trade up to 20 times of your account. So if you multiply this by 20, you roughly get around $200,000. No? Yun yung kaya mong i-trade. At syempre, yung $115,000 na kailangan mo, pasok na pasok doon. May tira ka pa nga. ganun pumapasok yung leverage, no? That's what it's for. Clear? Malinaw? Sabihin niyo kung take 2 kasi komplikado yung part na yun. Wala pa tayo sa margin Leverage pa lang yan. Clear, clear, clear. Dalawa lang yan kung walang nagsasalita. Either gets ang lahat or walang nakagets. Biro lang. Check ko lang sa YouTube Give me a moment kung may mga questions doon. I guess, not sure. Okay. Ano pa naman yan? Kumbaga, pinapakita ko lang sa inyo kung gaano kalaki yung tinitrade nyo ng one lot. No? So if you trade, sabihin natin 0.1, which is around $1 per pip, ang tinitrade mo dyan actually is only 10,000 lang. 10,000 units lang yan. So hindi yan 100,000 units. No? So meaning, if you want to trade 0.1, mas maliit na margin lang yung kailangan mo. No, you need $10,000 so for you to be able to trade one lot. No, actually nasa mga 11,500 no, if you use it in US dollars. Okay. And 0.01, you're actually trading 1,000 units lang. So mas maliit. Okay. Okay. Ang medyo gets, hindi ko saan nakuha yung ratio. Yung ratio given yun Kayo pipili kung anong gusto nyong ratio So 1:10, 1:20, it's your call Whenever you open an account, kayo magsiset Okay. So ito, medyo lalalim tayo ng konti Pwede tayong mawala dito, ayos lang. No? Kumbaga, medyo advanced na to To be honest, if you get this part, maraming mga forex traders hanggang ngayon hindi pa rin to naiintindihan Hindi ko alam bakit, pero it should be something that they know by now. But dito papasok yung leverage, yung margin, no? Margin is the money you need for you to be able to make that trade. Okay? So ano gusto ko mag-trade ng Euro USD na one lot. Initially, no? Kailangan ko ng $115,000, no? Yun yung computation natin kanina Now, if you want to compute the margin, how much money you actually need to open that trade, given the leverage you have, this is how you do it, no? Kumbaga, ganito siya i-compute. Let's go back to our example kanina, no? Sabihin natin, meron tayong one lot na binili na Euro USD, no? So we're trading 100,000 units, no, of euro, and given the exchange rate of 1.1500, we need around $115,000. Okay? Okay. Ngayon, given na alam nyo na kung magkanong pera kumbaga magkanong dollars yung kailangan nyo, you can actually directly apply the ratio. No? Sabihin natin yung leverage mo is 1:100. No? Yan yung leverage mo. Your leverage is 1:100. What you do is you get this amount and you simply divide it by 100. So kunin mo lang kung ano yung ratio mo. Divide mo siya by 100. You will come up with this figure. Sabihin niyo kung tama yung math ko, baka mamaya mali. You actually need $1,150 para ma-execute yung one lot mo ng Euro USD. So this is the margin you need. Meaning, for you to be able to open this trade, you would need at least $1,150 para maka-open ng trade na yan. Given a leverage of 1:100. So if you have a higher leverage, the margin requirement will go down. Mas konti yung kailangan. If you put your leverage down, then you would need a higher margin requirement to open the same trade. Malinaw? Yeah, if you want to change your leverage, normally pwede mo naman i-request yan doon sa broker nyo. You don't need to make a new account. You can just simply have it changed. No? Madali sila kausap sa ganyan. Okay, I have a great question here. No? Ano pong reason kung bakit ka pipili ng mas mataas na leverage? No? Or sabihin natin, bakit ka pipili ng mas mababang leverage? Well, Kung wala kang leverage na gamit, kailangan mo ng sobrang daming pera para makapag-trade, no? Just to earn a little bit, which sucks, no? Mahirap 'yun. So you'd need a little bit of leverage, but you don't want your leverage to be too high kasi wala nang silbi yun pag masyadong malaki na, no? It's already too much and the risk becomes too high. Okay? So what you want is a leverage that would be advantageous for you, no? And at the same time, it doesn't stretch your risk very much. So what I suggest is a leverage of around nasa mga 1:25 or 1:30, nasa mga ganyang range, no? A little bit more, a little bit less, but somewhere around that area is our sweet spot. 1:25 or 1:30 would be a great leverage. Bakit? Kasi pag yun po yung leverage natin, physically, marirestrict ka kasi kumbaga, kailangan mo ng malaking margin para makapag-trade, no? And that margin would be enough to give you, some sort of medium risk sa market. You cannot take more than that kasi hindi na kaya ng account mo. So that would be a safe number, right? So, ito, we have a good question. Is leverage directly proportional to risk? Siguro yung mga iba hindi pa masyadong naiintindihan niya. Alam ko si Ma'am Mera na gets na eh. Pero for the sake of everyone, it's a yes and no answer, no? Yes, it's directly related to risk if malaki din yung volume na tinitrade mo. Kasi tandaan nyo, ang nagagawa lang naman ng leverage, no, is that you can trade a higher volume. But at the end of the day, kayo pa rin naman magdi-dictate kung anong volume ang ititrade nyo. No? So if you don't know how to manage your risk properly, then kailangan mababa yung leverage nyo. Kung hindi pa tayo magaling mag-manage ng risk. So 1:25, 1:30 will do the job. Okay? But if you know how to manage your risk already, then it's okay for you to have high leverage. Marunong naman kayo eh. Kung mababa lang naman yung volume na trade nyo, then it doesn't matter. Right? Okay, I have a good question. Kapag mali yung trade mo, ano po mangyayari sa margin? That's an excellent question. No? Well, normally, meron ka munang, may fund ka muna. So, let me give an example so that it's quite easy to understand. Sabihin natin, yung capital natin, no? Our capital is $1,000. No? You have $1,000 there. And let's say that you decide to trade 0.5 lots of Euro USD. 0.5 of EU. So that will give you around $5 per pip, di ba? 0.5. So yung margin requirement natin diyan, no? Let's say wait lang. Gawin na lang natin 1 lot kasi ang hirap mag-compute, sorry. Hindi ako ganoon kagaling sa math. So, let's say our capital is $1,000, no? Tapos we decide to trade 1 lot of EU, no, Euro USD, which is a terrible idea, no? Kasi masyadong mataas yung risk, but for computation's sake, try natin. No? So this is around $10 no, per pip. So, sabihin natin, yung margin na nagamit natin no, is around $500. Okay? So, we needed a margin. Yan yung MI, lagay ko na lang, margin. So, kailangan natin ng margin na $500 to be able to make that trade. No? So, ngayon, meron tayong floating trade na 1 lot with Euro USD. What happens here is that you still have your $1,000. No? Ang mangyari lang, itatabi lang ng konti yung $500 mo. Okay? So, that will be written off as margin. Okay? Ngayon, ang makikita mo sa account mo ngayon is magkakaroon ka din ng $500 na free margin. Sa Friday, mapapakita ko sa inyo yan sa platform. Ano ibig sabihin ng free margin? Free margin is the margin or money left for you to be able to make new trades. So, kumbaga yun yung natitirang pera na pwede ka pang magbukas ng mga bagong trade. Kapag na-use up mo na lahat ng free margin mo, hindi ka na makakapagbukas ng bagong trade until you close the other trades. Okay? Kasi pag sinara mo tong trade na to, matatanggal na yung margin na 500, babalik na ulit yan sa free margin. Okay? So you can use it again. Alright? So yun yung unang mangyayari. Now, what if kumita yung trade? No? Let's say from 1,000, you earn $200. then your margin will still be 500 and then yung free margin mo ngayon magiging 700 na. Mas malaki na, di ba? So that's a good thing. Pero paano pag natalo? Okay. So sabihin natin, from $1,000, natalo ka ngayon ng 200. What will happen there? Your margin will still be the same and your free margin will become now $300. Bababa na yung free margin mo. Okay? Tapos makikita mo yung equity sa account mo, meaning yung total money mo with the profits and losses will only be 800. Okay? So okay pa, buhay pa yung trade mo. What if you now have a floating loss of 500? What will happen then? Ang mangyari is mauubos na ngayon yung free margin mo. So you cannot make any more trades. Yung margin mo will still be intact there. Tapos yung equity mo, 500 na lang. Kasi meron ka ng minus $500 yan. Now, what if you lose more? Anong mangyari? Paano pag nagagalaw na tong margin mo? Pwedeng magalaw pa yan. Sabihin natin, matalo ka ng total of $700. Okay? Doon sa floating trade mo na yan. Yung margin mo, nababawasan na yan. Ang mangyari na lang ay $300 na lang yung margin mo. So, naapektuhan na. Diyan na po papasok yung margin call. Okay? Maybe some of you have heard of it. Margin call is an automated thing na ginagawa ng broker. Na kapag nag-dip yung margin mo to a certain level, for example, it dips down 50%, 30%, depende sa broker nyo, it will automatically cut yung pinaka, I think, oldest position or biggest position, iisa-isahin niyang isasara yun forcibly. Bakit niya ginagawa yun? So that hindi ka magkakaroon ng utang. Kasi baka mamaya yung trade mo talagang bumagsak, no? Let's say it goes down to negative 900. Before that happens, i-out na niya lahat ng mga positions mo doon. Okay? Para hindi ka umabot ng talagang ubos yung account. Okay? Pero pag na-margin call ka, medyo ubos na rin talaga. So wag na tayo umabot sa ganun, ha, please. I'm sure that some of the traders here have already experienced that. Ako, I've experienced that so many times nung nagsisimula ako. So wag na sana tayo umabot sa ganun. Okay? It's a terrible feeling. Pero generally, yan yung nangyayari dun sa computations. Is that clear? Malinaw? I'm not trying to scare anyone. I'm just trying to give it as real as possible. Okay? Pero syempre, pag umakyat naman yan, lalaki yung profit, lalaki margin, good things happen, etc. etc. So, kaya naman po, yung $1,000 na yan, we definitely will not trade one lot. No, that's too high. Ang ideal natin dyan would only be a maximum of 0.1 na volume lang. Yan lang yung maximum natin kapag $1,000. We'll talk more about that during our risk management session. Okay? Malinaw po? Everything clear so far? Or medyo dumugo na tayo dun sa math? Yung math naman na yan, you don't need to compute for it manually, ha? Kasi automatic na ginagawa ng platform yan eh. But I'm just showing you para ma-appreciate lang natin, we actually get to understand bakit ba lumalabas yung mga numbers na yun. How are they able to compute for it? Okay? Because, again, marami ng traders who have been trading for a long time who still do not understand that part. Okay? It's a boring part, but very necessary in my opinion. Anyway, so moving forward, no? So, yung platform natin, we'll talk more about it on Friday. No, pag-uusapan natin yan sa Friday. I'll show you how to navigate around the MetaTrader platform. It doesn't matter if you're using MetaTrader 4 or MetaTrader 5. Pareho lang naman yung navigation nila at yung paggamit. So I'll show you how to navigate the charts, how to customize your own charts, no? Paano kayo mag-drawing sa mga charts nyo, how to use, yung mga analytics doon na tools and everything. I'll show you how to open and close trades. So I would suggest everybody should have a demo account by then. Okay, if you don't have one, just message me and I'll send you some links for that. No? Since lahat naman tayo dito have already opened live accounts with PAFTI, no? If not, sabihan nyo kami so that you can join the Discord group. Kasi marami sa atin dito kasali na sa Discord group eh. And I hope that's very useful, no, for those who are already part of the community. No? Ginagawa natin doon, kumbaga, it's an open community where you can ask questions. Lahat tayo doon, kapwa traders, we try to help each other out. And May mga trade ideas din, doon nilalagay ni Coach Alex M. Yung daily market review, no? Kumbaga, sipag nun araw-araw gumagawa ng video para sa community natin. Ano yung mga pwede nating i-trade, no? Tapos nagla-live siya sa YouTube every London Open. Tapos si Alex S naman sa gabi. So, kumbaga, try to make the most out of that. Anyway, so try to have a demo account by then. No? If you don't know where it is, just message me. I'll help you out. Okay, I have a question here. Okay, I have a good question here. Naka-direct message, no? I won't mention your name na lang. But it's a good question. I'd like to discuss it with everyone. Yung tanong is the broker same as the platform or person ba siya, no? It's a little bit confusing. So, yung broker po, it's a company, no? When it comes to Forex. Kasi, di ba, medyo confusing eh. Kapag sa ibang bagay, you have, a stockbroker, sometimes that's a person eh. But nowadays, a broker is a whole company. So for example, yung Forex broker, yun yung, kumbaga nakalista na nakita nyo dun sa mga links natin, no? Yung mga recommended brokers ni PAFTI, there's 2 of them. So yun po, kumpanya sila. No? It's not an actual person. So kapag may nagsasabi sa inyo na lumalapit sa inyo, I'm a Forex broker, na tao daw siya, kalokohan yun. No? Walang ganun. It's a company. So, yun siya. No? If you're trading global stocks, then a broker would also be a company, no, under CFDs. Okay, so yun siya. Thanks for that question. All right, so moving forward, no. Ngayon, after all of that stuff, no, ngayon, paano natin malaman kung aakyat or bababa yung presyo? Normally, there's 2 types of analysis. Actually, marami yan eh. No? But generally, there's 2 ways to analyze the market. Number 1 is fundamental analysis and number 2 is technical analysis. Fundamental analysis is yung ginawa natin kanina. You're looking at the economy of a country and based on what's happening to them, yun yung magiging bias natin. So we're gonna talk about, a lot of very heavy stuff like GDP, interest rates, balance of payments, inflation, employment. Actually, yung mga yan, itatakal din natin yan on a separate session. So, baga, be prepared for that. Medyo mabigat, no? And anyway, so yung mga yan, pag-usapan natin yan on a separate session. We'll talk about the economic calendar, resources that you can get that from, risk on and risk off market, etc., etc. Okay? Next naman po is technical analysis. Technical analysis is based on charts, patterns, and repetitions. So, dyan po papasok yung mga charting natin, saan tayo bibili, saan tayo magbibenta. We take a look at price levels. And normally, yung idea naman behind technical analysis is, kumbaga, nangyari na dati to, no? And given the same scenario now, things could happen again, no? Kumbaga, history could repeat itself. And you can see that on the charts very clearly. So, pag-uusapan natin yan, candlestick, supports and resistances, at saka trend. We'll talk about that on a separate day. Now, if you have your own strategy, that's fine. No? Wala nang problema. No? There's no best strategy out there. As long as it's profitable, that's fine. Okay? Okay. May tanong ba tayo? Let's also take a 5-minute break kasi medyo mabigat.